Hey guys. Okay, so today I want to talk about how to date after heartbreak. It's not an easy thing to do. It's actually really awkward and there isn't really like a guidebook out there. I always wondered, I'm like, how do you do this? Especially after you've been with someone for many, many years. I never dated in my 20s, and so I only started in my 30s, and I was like, wait, how do you do this after being with someone for so long? So, the first thing I'm going to say about how to date after separation is to take your time. I think we've accepted that in order to actually move through the pain, we should go and sleep with other people, and that's just going to basically numb it out. Sure, maybe temporarily, but what oftentimes ends up happening is that dopamine rush that you got for a couple minutes, it dies out and you're just back to where you started, which is in pain, missing the person, and feeling all sorts of regret. After you have ended a serious relationship, be okay with taking your time. Like, of course, taking your time is the harder thing to do, but it's wiser. Why? Because when you take your time, you actually collect data about yourself. You take time so that you can figure out what your needs are, what your wants are. You figure out what it is you like and dislike. You take time so that you can actually think about what went wrong in the relationship so that you don't bring that to the next relationship. So taking your time is all about processing the grief, the loss of the relationship, processing the thing that didn't work out, the dreams that you had. There's a lot to do in this taking your time period. And a lot of times we want to accelerate that because we don't want to feel the pain. We'd rather just replace it with attention from someone else. But that doesn't last. In fact, you're actually just prolonging your hurt. So I don't have a specific timeline for when or how long you should take your time. It's not like, oh, we broke up and now I have 3 months of processing before I get to the. No, you know yourself, but you also know when you're kind of expediting the process. And in this process, I would say just don't rush. Be okay with giving yourself some time after a breakup and then start dating. Number 2 is to be honest with people. When we start dating, we come with a lot of history and a lot of stuff from our previous relationship, things that we're still working through. And at the same time, you want to go and explore and start dating after you've kind of given yourself that time, but we don't often communicate where we're at. You can say something like, hey, yes, I was in a relationship for X amount of time and we parted ways, and I'm still processing things and working through some things, but I am really open to dating. So I just want to let you know that this is where I'm at. And I did this during my dating process. Like, I told people that, hey, like, I was with this person for 16 years and I'm grieving, but I'm also experiencing new things and I'm excited to try dating. But if you see me get a little bit more reserved or closed off, or if I seem emotional, it's because this is where I'm actually at. And I think the right people, mature people, healthy people will actually respect that. People will actually appreciate your honesty. And you're setting a tone, you're setting an example. I'm being honest, and therefore it gives that other person permission to be honest. But it does create vulnerability and it does build trust. So whether you intend to be with the person or not, if you are just coming out of a long-term relationship, it's really, really, really important to let people know where you're at. Don't omit those details. Don't omit all these things, because if you feel like you have to edit information out, that means you're not ready to date. Sorry. Number 3 is don't give in to sex too soon. I know, this one sucks to hear. I'll speak directly to women. Our bodies, our brain operates differently than men. When we have sex too soon, we end up activating a part of our brain that creates these bonding chemicals. And so we're releasing a lot of dopamine, a lot of serotonin, and oxytocin. And oxytocin is the bonding chemical. This is the one that makes you think that after sleeping with a guy one time that he's the one. And this is a really dangerous place to be in after a breakup, because you end up kind of going back into this cycle of attachment, obsession. Very often guys get scared and they're like, whoa, too fast, too soon, like I'm not ready to jump in. And that's because you've bonded with him through sex. Now, men can oftentimes do this and not feel that bonding chemical being released. And that's just biology. That's just the way our brains are designed. If you want to look into it, go for it. But this is why I say to women to take your time. Take your time collecting data. Take your time getting to know the person so that when you are ready for physical intimacy, you at least have a foundation. You have some sort of framework. Ideally, you want to know that there's a commitment and that you get to be in a committed relationship. But what we end up doing a lot of times, especially in modern day culture, is we're trying to be the cool girl and convince ourselves that we're just down for casual sex, when really what that does is activate our attachment. And when you're dating, and especially when you're fresh out of heartbreak and after separation, divorce, breakup, whatever, it is so triggering to revisit feelings like that, but with a new person. So it does compound your trauma. So if you can, after dating, take your time with the physical intimacy. And if a guy's pressuring you or pushing you and he's judging you because you're not giving in, bye. Number 4, know your triggers and traumas. Know your attachment style. Know your childhood wounds. Know what part you contributed to when it came to the breakup or the end of the relationship, okay? Accountability is sexy. Knowing your faults is attractive. Knowing what does and doesn't work for you is self-awareness, and that is all under the umbrella of emotional intelligence. The reason why this is so important is because you're not going into the new dating experience with your old baggage. You're coming in saying, yeah, I've processed it. Yeah, I know my part in this. I know their part in this. I know what went wrong. But what you're really saying is, I know myself, and you can't tell me who I am because I know me. So it's really, really, really important to take time to get to know yourself and who you are and why you operate the way that you do, so that whoever you're dating has some sort of template for what your history was and why you operate the way that you do. And lastly, this one sucks, but it's the truth. Be okay with being single. After a breakup, after having a life with someone, you want to take time to be single. A lot of people try to expedite this process because it's uncomfortable being with yourself. It's uncomfortable being with your thoughts. It's uncomfortable being lonely, especially when you've been with someone for so long. You want to fill in that gap naturally, but it's so crucial to be in the single season, even if it's for a couple months, because you collect data about yourself. You get time to be with your friends. You get time to travel. You get time to build a character and to rebuild you. So don't rush the single season. Yes, some of us want to get out of it super quick, but it's so important to take time to collect information about yourself and to honor yourself, because if you can't sit with yourself and enjoy your company, how do you expect someone else to? Okay, those are my 5 points for how to date after a breakup. I hope this helped. Leave some comments, and if you have any experiences that you want to share, go ahead and drop them in the comments section below. I'll see you next time.